Good morning students, welcome to my YouTube channel and I hope that you all are happy and well at your homes. Be happy, be safe and be healthy and use this time for the meaningful and useful thing as I told you day by day and at repeated times so that this time will benefit you in the future. Okay, and be an honest and a good student so that grasp all the qualities which requires a good student so that you can go with a wider scope to achieve all the major horizons of life. Okay, so as you all know that we had started our online classes for class 9th and 10th, and last time in class 10 syllabus we had discussed about federalism. Okay, basically as so far we have completed many topics and majorly all the major topics of this chapter. There is one topic behind and one topic is left in this chapter, and yesterday we had discussed about all the major things of this chapter. Today now discuss all the basic and the major concept. That is one concept which is left behind, that is the decentralization in India or the local government. Okay, first of all let's take a recap of the let's take a recap of 5 minutes of the whole things which we had studied earlier. Okay, so basically in this chapter first of all we had studied about the definition of federalism, in which we said that federalism is a word which federalism is a concept which said that the divisions of powers between central state and the local government is known as federalism. Okay, after that we had completed the features of federalism like supremacy of judiciary, two or more level of government, rigid constitution and a separate source of revenue, all these things. Okay, then we had further studied about the difference between a unitary and a federal government. Okay, what are the features that make India a federal country? Okay, how is federalism practiced in India? Okay, and what is coalition government, what is unitary government, what is federal government, what is the list system which is practiced in Indian constitution. Okay, how many subjects in the Indian constitution, like basically if we talk about union list there are 100 subjects. Okay, in which the rules are made by only the state list is the list in which there are subjects which are only for the union government, means the union government is only responsible to make laws on the basis of the union list. State list for the state government, concurrent list for both. In state list we have 62 subjects and in concurrent list we have 52 subjects. Okay, so basically these are the list system which we had studied earlier. Okay, today let's start our next and the last topic behind which that is decentralization in India. Okay, so basically as so far we had completed two major governments, basically the central government and the state government. Okay, we had studied about central and state government. In this topic we had studied about we study about the local government, that is the third tier of government and is also known as the local government. Okay, so first of all we I want to introduce you the term of decentralization. What is meant by decentralization? Okay, basically decentralization means basically to understand decentralization first of all we have to understand centralization. What is centralization? Centralization means the accumulation of powers at one point, the accumulation of powers at one person, one individual, one institution. Okay, so that is known as centralization. Centralization means the accumulation of powers at one point. Okay, so that is centralization. If we talk about decentralization, then we can say that decentralization means the taking back of powers from the central level and to give them to the state government or the local government. So that is known as decentralization. Okay, that decentralization simply means that taking the powers from the central government and give them to the local government or the state government. So that is known as decentralization. Okay, basically if we talk about when India became independent on 15th August 1947, there was no local government at that time. Basically in there was local government but on not on the condition of constitution. Basically there was no provision for local government in the constitution. Only the state governments who are willing to enact or implement the rule for the local government. They made it their own way. Okay, but the proper revision, proper provisions for the local government came into force on 1992 by amending the constitution, amendment of 73 and 74. Okay, basically in 1992 the constitution was amended by 73 and 74 amendment, and basically by which on 24 April 1993, that is known as 73 and 74 constitution amendment, and on 24 April 1992 the local government has implemented. Okay, and till that local government has till that time of 1992 and up to that present time, the local government has done so many things and so many local government achieved so many things in our country. Okay, so basically why we introduce the local government in our country? Basically, as you all know, democracy means the system of government in which rulers are elected by the peoples directly or indirectly. Okay, so that is known as democracy. Okay, so basically democracy is the strength when we give powers to the state or the local government, so that strengthens the democracy, that gives power to the democracy. Okay, so that also increases the strengthening of democracy and the strengthening of the institutions of a particular democratic government. So in 1992 our government in 1992 amend the constitution by 73 and 74 amendment, and by this a new third type of government, that is local government, was introduced at all the state level. Okay, after that basically in this provision of the constitution amendment 1992, by which there were certain changes made in the constitution. First of all, there were 11th and 12th schedule added in our constitution, and after that there was a proper provision for the local government. Every state has bound to conduct elections in every 5 years for the local government. Okay, every state every state give powers to the local government. Every state made a provision of local government in their own rules and regulations. Okay, they give them powers to the local government. Okay, so basically now let us discuss about why local government was introduced. The first of all, basically the reason to implemented the local government was to release the burden of the state government. First of all, okay, basically if we talk about local government, then local government is the government which is work at the local level, and at the state level state government is so busy in doing so many works. So to reduce the burden on the state government, that the particular law should be introduced by the government. Okay, the second thing which required to introduce the third tier of government, that is to give them so that the peoples of that particular local area get represented, and to sort out the matters at the local level. Okay, basically as you all know, central government and state government are so busy in their work, so basically they are not don't take care of the local level. So that's why they introduce local government, and so that the peoples can participate directly at the local level. Okay, so that the participants getting better knowledge of the elections, so that by this process they also gain much support at the local level, so that they strengthen the democracy by the participation of the people, basically to strengthen the democracy. Okay, so that is the main reason behind the implementation of the local government. The next reason was foundation of democracy. Basically, as you all know, when we made any house, okay, when we make house, then first of all we have to make the boundary for that, or the foundation of that house. Okay, if the foundation of our house is strong, then simultaneously the house will be very powerful, will be very strong. Okay, so that is the case of the local government, that is the case of anything, that is the case of democracy also. Okay, so local government is the foundation of democracy, from which a democratic government is started. Okay, basically democracy is started from the local government, then state government, then central government. So that is the foundation of democracy. So basically there are certain reasons for the implementation of the local government. The first reason, which we had discussed earlier, that is to release the burden on the state government and central government. The next reason was to engage the people and to participate, to get participation of the people in the local level, so that locals have better knowledge of the election and all election related activities. Okay, then there is a foundation of democracy. Okay, so that are the main reason behind implementation of the third level of government. Basically, if we talk about third level of government, that is local government. In local government, basically elections are conducted after 5 years. Okay, and about 25 years of age, anybody can contest in these elections. And the most important thing in this concept, or in this local government, is that 1/3 seats are reserved for women, and 1/3 seats are reserved for the SC/ST candidates also. Okay, so basically local government also empower the women. Okay, local government also improve the condition of the women, so that they can participate in the direct or the local election at the local level. Okay, so basically that is also the good step towards women empowerment. Okay, as you understand. So that is the main government by which, according to the local government, there is a third three tier of system introduced by the government in the constitutional amendment 73-74, in which a village is divided into three main panchayat units. Okay, and the local, basically the smallest unit of panchayat level was village panchayat. Village panchayat is the panchayat in which the villages of the people have the right to elect the head of the village, that is known as pradhan, or that is also known as village headman. Okay, by assisting the works, so that the pradhan could can carry or completing the works, a village development officer is appointed by the government to assist the pradhan of the village panchayat. Okay, all the basic development works, all the basic works were under the pradhan or the village panchayat. And basically above village panchayat there is a block samiti in which there are many peoples, okay, who are elected by the people, and the head of the block samiti is indirectly elected by the electors, which is elected by the people. Okay, basically block samiti is the upper level of village panchayat. Then after that there is the third level, that is known as what? That is known as village panchayat. Village panchayat is also known as Jila Parishad. Okay, Jila Parishad, Jila Panchayat, Jila Parishad. Okay, so basically these are the three levels of village panchayat. And the next level of the local government works at the urban areas or the urban level. Basically the major thing is what? Nagar Palika, Nagar Nigam, or these are the things by which a mayor is the head of particular Nagar Nigam, or basically the local government or the municipal corporation. Okay, basically municipal corporation works at the urban level and panchayat works at the village level. Okay, so that is the difference between urban and the rural areas introduced by the third tier of government, that is local government. And the head of the municipal corporation is mayor, who holds over the country and directly elected by the peoples of that area. Okay, so basically the last topic is completed now, local government. So I hope that you all understand all the basic concepts of this chapter. And as so far this chapter is very interesting chapter, and this chapter also give you the understanding of Indian federal system, Indian unitary system, and the organization of government, how our government is formed, how the basically how the structure of government is formed, okay, by the organization of like federalism or unitary government. Okay, basically India, as so far we had completed so many topics in this chapter. What is federalism? Okay, let's take a recap of the topics which we had completed. So definition of federalism, features of federalism, okay, difference between federal and a unitary government. Okay, after that we had studied about what makes India a federal country, practice of federalism. Okay, then we had studied about the division of powers or many things in the chapter, coalition government or basically kinds of federation also, and the local government or decentralization. Okay, so I hope that you all understand all the chapter of federalism. Okay, basically you understand the chapter federalism, and if you have any doubt regarding any topic, so you can comment in the comment section so that I can understand your queries and give them answers in my next YouTube video. Okay, so I hope that you all understand the concept and topic of federalism. Okay, so मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. ओके, बाय एंड थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग मी.